Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, right here. Okay, give me 1 second. There we go. Perfect. Hi, everyone. How is everyone?
Hi.
Hey, we just want to say thank you so much for coming out. I know December is a busy month for everyone, given the holidays and everything. So I just want to say thank you. I guess first and foremost, for us to begin, I just want to have everyone kind of go around and introduce themselves and kind of their connection to the project and the documentary.
Should I start?
Yeah, anybody can start. Also, I just want to quickly introduce myself. I'm Taylor Ellis. I am Vice President of the Columbia University Black Professional Society. I'm working with Christian Robinson, who I believe a few of you have corresponded with, and she is the president of the Black Student Organization here at Columbia. So I just want to say, just thank you so much for everyone coming out to here tonight. So I guess we could start with Rain, actually, because you are our surprise guest. I think most people didn't realize you're going to be coming today, so we're really excited to have you. So if you want to kind of start, it was an incredible surprise.
Okay, I'm Rain Shepherd. I'm 15, and I don't know, I was in the movie.
All right, and thank you so much for coming and surprising us. Ms. Vanderbork, if you want to just kind of introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Taylor, for having us. Thanks, Columbia and Christian and everyone for organizing it. Thank you for watching the film. And my name is Corinne. I'm one of the co-directors of Sisters on Track. And I live in Brooklyn. I'm originally from Amsterdam, but I've been here for the past 16 years with my family. Yeah, and I make documentaries. That's what I do.
Yo, Miss Doughton. Oh, you're unmuted.
Sound. We don't hear you.
You're muted. There we go.
Hi, I'm Erica Stanley Doughton. I am a Brooklynite as well. I am one of the social impact producers for the film. Some of you may or may not know, but we are in the midst of a social impact campaign for Sisters on Track. And what that means is we take themes from the film, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in depth during the conversation, but we take themes from the film and basically try to make a difference and to affect change and to support the film subjects as well as other organizations that are connected. And I am also a runner, former Colgate alum, and I've known Jean Bell for many, many years as well. We actually ran for the same coach, Freddie Thompson. So, I have a bunch of different connections to this project, and I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having us.
Thank you. Ms. Etheridge?
Hello.
Hi, yes, we can hear you.
Hi, yes. My name is Corinne as well. We have two Corinnes, but everyone calls me Kat. I'm a Jeunesse track and field alumni, actually. So I was a growing girl on the same team as Rain, and I run Colgate ongoing, present day. I still compete, and I am a liaison for the social impact campaign and a young aspiring entrepreneur who wishes to do the same things that they're doing now and that my coaches have done all my life.
Awesome. Thank you. And then Miss Cecilia, if you would want to just kind of finish off.
Sure. Sounded like one of my students, Miss Cecilia. You can call me Cecilia. It's totally fine. I'm Cecilia Mejia. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. My parents are from the Philippines. I didn't run track in high school, but I did other sports. But the track club was the cool club in school, so I knew everybody. Was trying to be friends with everyone. So, but I am a social impact producer for the film. I'm also a working producer, and I actually went to Columbia, but I teach over at NYU. I work with young people. I've been doing this for most of my adult life. So this is just very much in my wheelhouse. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about all this. I was also very active in student clubs in school. I was the People of Color coordinator at SUNY Buffalo, so I was very much close to the Black Student Union and all of the other organizations. So I know where you guys are at.
Well, thank you so much. Just thank you everyone for coming out. So I want to direct my first question to Rain because she was kind of our surprise guest. And I just want to just kind of reiterate kind of from like everyone here at Columbia, we're so incredibly proud of everything you've accomplished at such a young age. And we just rewatched the documentary and just incredibly impressed by you. And just thank you for coming out tonight. And I think I just have two questions for you. The first being, as a young person, what were the pressures you experienced being such a super athlete and also being a Sports Illustrated Kid of the Year? Because that's a lot of pressure for an adult, much less, someone who just became a teenager. So what was that like, those pressures?
Well, they weren't, it wasn't, I don't think I saw it as pressure so much. Well, now I do, but like back then, maybe while Sports Illustrated, like when I was 10, it wasn't really pressure. It was like really fun for me. So I don't really feel pressure at all.
All right, that's great. Actually, I'm glad that you were able to do it, and there was some level of peace to that. And then my next question for you is kind of what is the dynamic of the relationship between yourself and your sisters, given the fact that you guys are both probably all three of you probably all incredibly competitive, but also you guys all compete in the same sport. So obviously you love each other, but what is that dynamic like with your relationship?
Track really does, it doesn't affect our relationship, but it's like, we're really close because of track, or obviously really close in general, but we all try to push each other to run faster and to do our best. And when we do bad, to just take it as a learning experience, and well, in different ways, not all the time nice ways, but they're really encouraging ways. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I kind of wanted to open up the floor to our impact producers and our director. So for all the four of you, could you just kind of talk about, in relation to your work on the documentary, what have you learned and how has it shaped your perception of community? And anyone can start.
I can start. So in impact producing, I teach this at NYU, so it's really in my head. In impact producing, we call these four dynamics of change. The first being changing minds, changing behaviors, changing structures, and ultimately building communities, which is the ultimate goal, right? So it's interesting for me for the social impact campaign because it's almost like coming home. Because it's very Brooklyn, it's very much the community that I understood growing up. So it feels like revisiting that and also just kind of exploring this world of community that is within athletics. Youth athletics is just, for anyone that was a young athlete, it was to have that camaraderie was like really great growing up, and to kind of see that through the lens of the film and then just kind of be part of all of it as we're going with the impact campaign really makes me understand that we have different communities and we have different pockets, and we have to be able to really foster that even more so now than ever before, with everything going on and just being siloed and being very much separated from everybody in the last 2 years. So I think community now is more important than ever. It's not just like it's not just this thing where I'll meet up with my people at some point, but it's very much that this is the foundation of how we move forward and everything. So I think for the impact campaign, this is very critical to be able to create that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. For me, starting to make this film almost 5 years ago now, I was just really struck by this very strong, tight-knit community of women empowering one another and really passing the baton from generation to generation of self-empowerment and women, uplifting one another. And I think this power of community was what struck me and was what made me really want to tell this story from the get-go. So I arrived at the track and I met Coach Jean, and she sat with me and gave me a good look and said, "Are you sure you want this?" I said, I'm sure I want this. And I said, well, I will come back. I will come back. I'm not a journalist. I will show up again and again. Do you want this? And so we both agreed that we both wanted to do it, to tell the story. And it's been very much, I think, a gift. I'm very grateful that I was able to be part of such a strong community of women, and that I'm still part of that community, and stay in touch with everyone as well. And I'm really grateful for all the women in the social impact team as well that we're surrounded with here, to continue the story and the legacy.
Awesome. So anyone else who wants to kind of
I can go. I think, everything that, both Cecilia and Corinne have said, I think from my perspective, because a lot of the film and the subject matter and, characters and what is so closely related to my own life, it was very cool to see it on film, and to see, brought back a lot of memories of, the community that I was fortunate enough to have, and that's the community of women on the Adams Track Club. We had Freddie was our mentor, but it was his lifelong mission to coach women, and to coach Black women mostly. And so, I was a part of that. And, there's not a day that goes by that I don't, remember, think about, or, I'm forever grateful for that experience, because it literally changed my life, and it's still changing my life now. I mean, meeting Corinne and just randomly and understanding that she made this film, and then all the people involved, and like it's brought a whole other thing, in terms of my own career. I think, I'm new to social impact producing. And so, I feel really lucky to be able to work on this with these ladies, and also just to, be able to think back to what it was like to have that community in my own life.
Thank you so much. And then Ms. Etheridge, if you want to go.
Oh yeah, just to piggyback off what Erica and Corinne were saying regarding actually being a part of that, and things passing the baton from generation to generation. My mom ran for Jeunesse, and they were able to help her grow up into the woman that she is today. And so in turn, she put me on that team, and I do have plans on putting my child on that team. And so it is much bigger than just a track and field team. And I think me being able to look back on it as a young adult, and it not being too many years ago that I was running with the team, I get to learn for the first time how much is really at stake. Because sometimes as a teenager, or even as a kid, you're not aware of how much is at stake. Just the little things that Jean and the coaches were talking about in the film regarding teen pregnancy and drugs and alcohol and this and that. You think that it is not that big of a deal, but it's a huge deal, because it can make or break a growing kid. And so just being able to look back on it as a young adult, and I'm trying to find ways to help more kids like me who may not have as many opportunities or have certain people in their lives, is really an eye-opener. And you get to see like, wow, like I could have went in any direction. This really, really saved me in a whole. And it goes just past just outside and, regular street things, just me, my mental, my sanity, my confidence, who I am, what I am, the way that I do things. Like it plays a very big part.
And I just want to say that's incredible, because I think everything that each one of you women and Rain, young women, have done just with the documentary and just different ways that you've contributed is just so inspiring to so many people. And I think in a way you're mentoring and you're really creating a greater impact than I think we even realize or see until years down the line. And so I just want to say thank you for that, because it's so important to see women, especially women of color, doing incredible things that they're passionate about and making a difference. And kind of off of that, I wanted to ask, all five of you, Rain included. So we have a lot of people here who have different paths that they want to take. And obviously with Ms. Vanderbork and everybody who is part of the project, I'd want to know kind of, for someone who is a director or an impact producer or an athlete like Rain, especially being a minority, because I think all of us in different ways are minorities. How have you been able to, become an athlete and be an effective athlete? How have you become an effective director in the film industry? How have you become an effective activist and producer as an impact producer? How were you able to navigate those spaces and be effective in it? And how did you start? And anyone can answer first.
I'm always the first. It's always like I want to get it. I don't want like privilege is intersectional. I think that's something that we have to understand, because just as even as women of color who have education, that's a different kind of privilege, right? That's a different kind of level. But for me, and Issa Rae doesn't want to credit this to herself, because I've seen her say she's never said it, but I've seen her say it. I've heard her say it. I've worked with her before. But she always said what worked for her and how she got to where she was when she started to network sideways instead of looking up. So working with her peers. And so I always, and Ava DuVernay says the same thing in a different way. So I always thought, I'd always looked up, and never worked for me because I was always trying to catch something. But when I started to look at my peers and grew up with them, I always bring a lot of different colleagues into different projects, and we're growing together. I find that has helped me grow as a woman, and as a woman of color, especially in this industry, because very much so, even if you are invited to the table, do you get to talk? Not all the time. Do you get to eat? Not all the time. So that's, it's very much that you're there maybe because you fulfill a quota or all that kind of stuff. So being there with your peers, or even when they're not with you at the table, but knowing that they're there in some way, shape, or form, gives you that strength to really speak up and get your place at the table. In another way, to get projects done, I've also seen that just make your own damn table and then invite people to the table and keep bringing the same people to the table that want to be at it. So that, and then also I'm looking at Rain right now, I'm seeing that, but to look at these young women and to have, it's always, I don't like being the center of attention, but I know that if there's someone like Rain or someone who has followed a similar path as me, see me do it, it's much easier for them to think that they can do it too. So that keeps me going. That keeps me going as a woman and a woman of color. So that's my thing. Hope that answered your question.
It did. Thank you so much. And just anyone else can answer in terms of, Ms. Vanderbrook being, director, kind of navigating that space. Rain, obviously being, a Black woman in this athletic space, but also being a young Black woman in this space and being so successful. How have you been effective? And then for Ms. Etheridge and Ms. Doughton, how have you guys been effective being impact producers? And kind of how did you start on your journey?
Yeah, thank you. I think I started on my journey when I was maybe in my late 20s to become a filmmaker, and before that I was in the film space, but I went to art school, and I wasn't so quite sure if I could become a documentary director. And I think what I learned is that you have to really trust your intuition, but sometimes it's hard to hear it and to find it because of what's happening around you in the world and in life. And so sometimes it takes a bit longer to hear that voice inside that tells you what you should be doing. And I think to rely on the fact that everyone has that voice inside and that they can actually listen to it and trust that voice is telling them to do something that might be a bit scary, but then I think what Cecilia said is really, really sensible, to look sideways and not look up, and really to collaborate and to learn from others. And just, I did a lot of internships. I feel like the eternal intern, and I think that has really learned me to be quite nimble and understand different perspectives, different art forms. I worked in the theater. I worked for TV stations, for film producers, and when I finally became a filmmaker, I think that helped me a lot that I had that experience behind me, and just made me a little bit more stronger in my vision of what I wanted to do. And it always, it's always exciting. And when you're doing documentary films in particular, there's not really a script that you have. So you're really looking at the world around you to tell you what the story is, and to kind of work with reality as it unfolds, and to trust that reality, and the building of trust, I think, is very, very important. And that takes time. It just takes time, and you need to have patience and trust yourself and everyone around you, I think.
Thank you.
I can add that, I've been an entrepreneur actually for probably over 20 years now. And so, I've done a lot of different things. My background is actually in event production and other kinds of productions. And so, I'm new to social impact producing, and I've learned so much from Cecilia, from Corinne, from, the whole team that I'm working with. And I think it's a good example of mentorship and how mentorship happens in so many different ways. And we're talking about mentorship on this campaign and how we can, affect change and motivate other people to be mentors, but also we ourselves, are looking at, how we're mentoring each other. And I think that's a big part of this as well. And, I've had a lot of mentors along the way who have taught me, who've carried me along, and who've really, I almost, there's no position, there's no career, job I've ever had. I was a teacher when I got out of college. Like, there's nothing I've ever done that hasn't been like a trial by fire situation. And I realize it's because that I was able to be successful. It's because of the people around me who supported me.
Thank you. Rain or Ms. Etheridge, feel free to add to that or say anything different.
Well, I haven't had any experiences where people treated me differently because, of my skin color, as of right now. But because of Juness and the people around me, I'm sure I'll be ready for those situations that I'm sure to come, that are probably gonna come, unfortunately. But it's okay, because it's okay.
Yeah, you're strong and just so incredible. So thank you. And then
for me, I would say I have always been into entrepreneurship and helping and giving back. I've kind of grew up all around that. Like I said, my mom did run for Jeunesse, but aside from that, she had, her own things that she did in the community. She had a dance group of her own. So I was a part of that from young, and I was also a part of Jeunesse from young. So majority of the people that I was around, I surrounded myself with were people who gave back to their community. So that was something that kind of was embedded in me without me really realizing it, because from probably Rain's age on, I've been trying to help my peers or come up with ideas or businesses to, figure things out or either make money or find solutions to problems that we have in the world and whatnot. So that's always been, a thing for me, aside from, the community that I'm from, just not having as much opportunities. Has always been a thing for me to find a way to help and get people into the things that I'm into. I didn't want to be the only person experiencing this and that. So I would always try to find a way to get other people involved. So as an athlete, that's really where my journey started, and that's still where it's going. And so I would hope it ends with, me creating businesses that can put other kids and teens and young adults in the position that I had opportunities to be in, that a lot of others don't get the opportunity to be.
And I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you, not just for your time, but for the energy and effort and passion that you put into like everything that you've done. I think you've paved the way for so many girls like me, even Rain, like you being like, 4 or 5 years younger than me, like still paving the way for us to do something so incredible and help the people around us. And so I'm just so incredibly inspired by all of you. And I just want to say thank you so much for being willing to come and talk to us. And we're going to make sure to email you guys just the video reporting of this. And just thank you so much for the effort that you've put into this project. It's incredible. It's on Netflix. For anybody who is still watching either on live stream or in the audience, just feel free to stream it. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Just know that both the Black Student Organization and the Columbia University Black Professional Society is so grateful for everything that you guys have done. And we're here to help promote any other projects or things that you want to do in the future. So we're here for that platform here for the Black student population here at Columbia. So thank you so much. If we have, anything quickly, they're about to kick us out of the room. But if anybody has a quick 20-second thing that they want to say, feel free to just jump in real quick.
Thank you for having us.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
I want to say thank you for having us too.
Oh my God, so incredibly proud of you, girl. Like I'm just so incredibly impressed.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what you do. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas,
you.
Happy Hanukkah, Happy
Bye.
Kwanzaa. Love you guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Stay
Bye-bye.
active.
Thanks. Bye, Rain.
Bye.
Bye.
Have fun. Why is this